for day 10 rather, is about our digital world and what it looks like when we're community in a digital world. I'm actually coming to you live streaming from our new community room here at St. Paul on our campus. It's a room that we've spent time in the midst of the quarantine and all this stuff. We were already remodeling this room as that began, but it shifted a little bit in the midst of experiencing everything with COVID-19 and all of that, and as to how this room would be adding things onto it, like a bathroom and a little bit more, another extra sink and things like that, all of that designed so that it can be cleaned easily, and so that there's a place that you can come together physically in person to have community here on this campus in a safest way as possible. Not perfectly safe, there is no such thing, but in ways that are best as possible. From the, yep, you've seen them all over the place. There it is right there. You got your soap, your hand sanitizer, you got your windows with a UV light coming in, doors, air circulations, air conditioning, redesigned to help on that with all of that UV light on it, all those things that we do to try to get together, because we recognize, as you read Good Day 10, the digital world is great, but it's insufficient. It's insufficient when it comes to community. There's something different about being together, getting together. I know as we've gone through this journey, I've had the privilege, I lead a digital small group that gets together Sunday nights, 6 to 7:30, and a different group on Wednesday nights, 7 to 8:30. And there's, I think 16 of us on Sunday night, and I think there's like 18, 19 of us, or 20 on Wednesday night. And it's great, you know, because the one thing I do love about the digital group and the small groups is that, you know, doing it over a platform like Zoom, one of the things that I find really truth is that we don't spend much time shooting the breeze. You know how when you get together with people in place, in person, you're talking about sports, you're talking about the weather. I mean, that's a standard conversation. But when you're getting in line, getting in a group online, and you're intentionally seeking community, I find myself and everybody else that we're just so quicker to share, quicker to like say like what's really going on, and maybe a little bit more vulnerable. Even though we got a distance, we're not there in physical presence, but like I feel sometimes there's that emotional connection that gets even tighter, because we're yearning for that, we desire that, and digital can help us a little bit, but it can still fall short of what we truly need when we do life together with other people. I like that reminder that gave us in this day 10 of the passage from Hebrews chapter 10:25. Not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. You know, we've seen that stat, you know, in the midst of all of this, that you know, getting together was inhibited, but yet for some people that getting together was already inhibited even before a pandemic caused it to be mandated or recommended. We'll use that word. That people were already doing that. We isolate ourselves, thinking that we can do it on our own. It's me and Jesus. We got a good thing going. Yeah, you might got a good thing going, but you don't got the best thing going, because He's created you for community. He's made you to do life together. And yeah, community gets messy. Digital community, holy cow, that's incredibly messy, right? Because people say things and share things online that they would never share in person, just to try to get their point across, or they really don't. There's some studies that people really just don't even think about that, because it's just so easy just to nonchalantly just share or click or like or say things we don't really even mean, because we don't have that person there in front of us. We don't have the body language. We don't have, you know, that relational eye-to-eye contact. I mean, I'm saying this talking to an eye of a camera that's pointing at my face, and I can't even see what you say and respond in the live stream and stuff like that because of that. And so my encouragement for you is that you use things like this smartphone, that you use it, but that you don't let it use you. You use it, but you don't let it use you. And there's a great thing for you today. See if I can zoom in on it a little bit for you. There we go. It's a screen time check. So what he's done there is your phone, my phone, all of your phones, you can actually find out screen time usage. If you don't know how to do that, the best way to do it is just, I know on my Android phone, you just pull down the search thing and you, on the menu, and you just type screen time. iPhone users, I'm sure there's something on that, but it's probably proprietary, and I don't go to that world, so you can find it as well too. But just search screen time or Google it for your specific phone, whatever type of phone, Samsung S7. Screen time, and it'll tell you how to do it, how to find it, or iPhone, what number are they on? iPhone X screen time, and it'll tell you how to find it. I encourage you to do it. I do it on mine. I actually have it give me a report every single week, and it shows me how much time I spend on things like Facebook or little games I like to play, or email, Instagram, all the other apps that you might open and be online. It's really interesting to look at to see how much time you actually spend on it. You can guess that one of my top uses is Facebook, because what am I doing right now? I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, streaming this in 2 different ways. So my Facebook usage goes way up, but it's not just that, it's also scrolling through, wishing people happy birthday, seeing the latest picture that you're sharing of your kids, and connecting in that way, and that's cool. But don't let it control you. So do that little checkup, and you might be surprised what your weekly screen time usage is and your daily screen time averages. And maybe what you need to do is put some things in place to help you on that. Oh, I'm still zoomed in here. All right, here's this great room. Okay, this room's available for people to use in our community too, to do community group. In fact, some of the Being Challenge groups, they're meeting in here on Sunday evenings and Tuesday mornings to gather in this and to talk about this challenge. Community, we are created for it. It is messy. Don't look for a community that's not messy, because that's probably not a real community, because it gets messy when you do life together. So what community needs more than anything is forgiveness and absolution in the midst of community, because we won't get it right. And sometimes doing digital community feels like it feels better because we can just block those persons or delete them from our feed. And you can't do that when you're doing life together with people. You may want to do it, you may try to do it, you may have done it, but it's not what you've been created for. You've been created to make and do life together. And actually, Jesus says that one time, that people would know that you were his disciples by your love for one another. So that love for one another, it shines through when we do community and when we do life together. So I hope you're on day 10 of the Being Challenge. We're a quarter of the way through. I am super stoked for what we're going to be talking about this weekend in worship, whether you're going to be joining us online in our digital community in this moment. If that's where you're at right now, great. We'll be glad to continue to come and deliver that message to you in that worship service about studying Scripture. And it's be great if you can be here in person. We'll be here on Saturday nights at 5:30 and Sunday morning at 8:30 and 10:30 a.m. and the small groups throughout the week. We'll talk about studying Scripture. But it's not just about studying Scripture. It's about why we study Scripture. Because it's not just finding about who God is, but who you are, who I am. Our identity in Scripture is critical, because people are now, we search for identity all over the place and try to figure it out. And usually we look inward to figure out who we are. But maybe there's a better way to figure out who we are by not looking at inward as we, the creation, but instead look outward to the Creator, to the one who made us in his image and who loved us so much that he came in real flesh and blood to save us honestly from ourselves, from our old sinful flesh, from the devil, and from the world around us. That's how much he loves us. That's how much he created us for. Perhaps he has something to say about who we are, and when we hear what he has to say, it just might impact the way we live with the people around us in community, whether it's digitally or in person in a place like this. So if you haven't checked out this room yet, though, I encourage you sometime, get in one of the groups. We got groups that meet here throughout the week, quilting groups and Bible study groups, and a men of prayer group that meets on Monday mornings, men's Bible study that meets Wednesdays for lunch in here at noon. Great opportunities to get connected, to get in the Word, to do life together that we were created for. Digital's awesome. I'm glad you tuned in, and if you stayed through this whole time, Wow, that's pretty cool. I'm honored by that. But my prayer is that you're able to find just as much, and if not more, blessing from gathering together with fellow people, doing life together in the midst of the mess, because you're covering it with you're asking for forgiveness, you're covering it with absolution, and you're moving forward as you love one another so that others see too that you are following Jesus. God's blessings to you this day as you go about your being challenged in this Commit to Community week. As you read your time, as you're in the Word, may that Word transform you. And hey, if you haven't gotten a book yet, I don't know why you haven't gotten a book yet when you're watching me, but I want to get a book to you. So just send me a message. We'll get you a book. We got a few on them in your hands, not on our shelves, okay? So God's blessing.